Well, because I like bacon.
How can you arrest him for saying he likes bacon?
Have a look at what you can get arrested for chanting in Britain.
I'm not resisting. I'm just trying to... Can you let go? Andy, fucking bullshit, just because you said you like bacon. I like bacon, mate. I bacon. It's all on camera. What's the offence? What's the offence? And what's that? Public order. And what's that? You're not allowed to say you like bacon butties around here, lad. Can you explain that to me, please?
Yeah, so it's anything that might be perceived to be racially abusive.
Mate, listen, a full English breakfast, yeah, what does that consist of?
Well, I'm not discussing,
so what, hey?
What about the wanker sign you did? You're in the corner, so... Alright, let's move on then.
Ah, scum. Ben, take it easy.
We can't put him here, we'll have to hold him here until...
He'll be out in no time.
Just wait here, just wait him here. Just stop there, stop. Yeah, we will.
Are you with the other cereal? Sorry.
No, I'm just with you.
So apparently, you can't say,
I love bacon.
I love bacon. Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm going to go out on a limb here, and at the risk of getting denied entry the next time I try and land at Heathrow, I love bacon too.
What absurdity to have the police force have those discussions with their citizens.
It's terrifying, but it is all political. It's Orwellian. It's like we were saying at the beginning of the show with Lucy Connolly. Britain has turned into this weird kind of Orwellian dystopian state where they will arrest you for the most ridiculous things.
Well, I think your question is to do with the cancel culture. Could it be, would people allow it to do that? I think so, probably, with a bit of negotiation. Because even then, I'd sometimes have to talk people down. I go, this is fine. This is irony. Or no, this is okay. No, that's the point of that language. That's the, no, it's not racist. He's a racist. So I still had explaining to do in the year 2000. Also, cancel culture is sort of, don't worry about it now, it's done. They tried. But you wouldn't want it to be the same, because The Office, I think, was good because it was a keen observation about the etiquette of the time and what it was like to be in office in 2000. So it couldn't be the same because things are different now. Could the equivalent be done? I think so. I don't know. I don't know what it'd be like now trying to get all those things passed through, but it couldn't be the same anyway, and you wouldn't want it to be the same because you sort of want to reflect the world, really, and the world's changed a bit. Yeah, I'd still give it a go. I'd try my hardest.
Stop that now. We are freedom of speech. I know, but freedom of speech. We've got freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. TNT to police. Freedom of speech. TNT to police. TNT to police. You don't even know what fascist is, mate.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
My name's Frank McGuinness. I come from Britain's oldest colony. I was born in Dublin and grew up in the occupied north of Ireland. I'm here to suggest three things. The first is that the British Empire, or the so-called United Kingdom, is in a crisis. The crisis of Zionism is a crisis of this state, because this state is backing the genocide. The Brits are at it again. They are once more enacting a genocide. The second thing I am here to suggest is that the Palestinian people have a right to use armed force to resist the apartheid state. We must all loudly proclaim our support for the Palestinian right to use armed force in self-defense against the genocidal fascist regime. And the third thing I'm here to suggest is that we are all anti-Zionists now. There is no space for anyone to continue identifying with that fascist ideology. We must say it loud and clear. Zionism is fascism. We are all anti-fascist. We are all anti-Zionist. state and the violent enforcement arm of the state that you see surrounding you today. The Metropolitan Police are, of course, complicit in this crisis. Yes! They've hyper-scrutinised our speech. They've hyper-scrutinised our placards. They've hyper-scrutinised our social media to try and find some foot that we may have put wrong, to try and test whether we've contravened the ridiculous terms of the Terrorism Act 2000, to try and insinuate that we are terrorists and anti-Semites for opposing their little loyal Jewish Ulster, as the apartheid state of Israel is once called. The British state is up to its neck in Palestinian blood. The blood will never wash off. Keir Starmer will forever be remembered as the war criminal at the top of the British Empire that presided over this genocide. Liam should not be on the inside of a dock. Keir Starmer will hopefully one day see the inside of a dock of a war crimes tribunal. So will his colleagues in the British Empire who did this to Palestinians. The Terrorism Act 2000 is in a complete legitimacy crisis, not just because of its use to try and attack the comrades in kneecap. They're using it to try and attack everyone. They've made an astonishing mistake in trying to ban my friends in Palestine Action. That group should never have been attacked in the way that it was. Those laws should never have been passed. The British state has no business lecturing anyone about violence. They have no business lecturing anyone about racism. They have no business lecturing anyone on how to resist colonialism. They are one of the most violently racist colonial empires in human history. They should sit down and shut up. The British state have a right to armed resistance against this fascist empire as it attempts to enact a genocide against them. You think about the good people in the Front Libération Nationale, the FLN, that liberated Algeria from the French colonizers, good friends of the British Empire. The people of Algeria fought with guns and with bombs against the people colonizing them at staggering cost to themselves. Let me remind you, it took 1 million Algerians, 1 million Algerian lives to drive those French colonizers out of Algeria. But they did it. It is one of the most successful instances of anti-colonial resistance in human history. No Pact Iran! We are all anti-fascist! We are all anti-Zionist now! Do not be complacent. Your government, our so-called government, the British Empire that colonized my homeland and that colonized Palestine is at it again. They're engaged in the mass murder of Palestinians because they're viewed as a racial threat to the demographic purity of their little loyal Jewish Ulster. We must not be complacent. Coming to this rally is not enough. We must escalate our opposition to their genocide until it is definitively defeated, until a ceasefire is called, and from there we must dismantle the apartheid state of Israel and consign it to the dustbin of history. Glory to the resistance and its martyrs. Shoki Allah!
As a new form of the virus is now rapidly spreading across Africa.
I had a bit of a incident last night. So I'm worried about this, right? I'm worried, right? I'm a bit of a worrier anyway. And I'm a hypochondriac. I went to the doctor's once. I had an upset stomach. And she said, well, what's the matter? I said, oh, upset stomach. She went, right. So have you changed any of your habit? I said, so yeah, I started having sort of, you know, smoothies with fibre in. She went, will be that then, won't it? I went, right, good. So yeah, went to the doctor. I said, is it bowel cancer? She said no. I went, right. And then she said, when you get a sore throat, do you think that's throat cancer? Right? I think she thought I'd laugh. I went, yes. And she went, okay, okay, you can leave now. That's what I want a doctor. I want a doctor to make me feel because I went along. Do you know what I mean? I want to go along. I don't want them. I don't ever want a doctor to say to me, "Well, you were right to come in because." Whew. So anyway, so last night I went to bed. I went to Jane. Oh, I don't feel very well. Right? She went, "What's the matter?" I said, "Oh no, I just feel ill, sort of upset stomach." And I went, "It's coronavirus." She went, right. I said, oh, I feel hot. So she went and got off her mama. She got out of bed, right? got a thermometer, tested me. She went, well, no, if anything, it's low, if anything. It's like, I went, right. I said, I just feel a bit hot. I said, I've got a blocked up nose. She went, well, that's not coronavirus. I went, right, all right, doctor, right? And I went, I feel sort of out of breath. It was really nervous. You're winding yourself up, right? And I went, I sort of sore throat. So we've always got a sore throat because you don't drink enough liquid and you're always dehydrated. So I went, all right, anyway, I don't feel... So I took a nighttime Beecham's, right, and went to sleep. That must have mixed with the alcohol because I woke up screaming from a nightmare at about 3 o'clock, scared Jane to death because I thought an earplug was a spider. And so I woke up this morning. She went, how'd you feel? I went, yeah, fine. My life often is, I have those incidents now and again. And I always remember a line in Christmas Carol when they go, and Tiny Tim, who did not, and I say that when I get up, I go, who did not? Oh dear. So business as usual, really. I'm not a brave man. I always think the worst. So then, when it's not the worst, I'm happy. I think what a lovely day. I didn't. Oh.
The World Health Organization tonight is declaring Mpox, formerly known as Mpox, a global public health.
Jane laughed at me because I found just a sports one, not a legal one, a sports one. But you know, if people come for the toilet rolls, they don't know it's got a little blunt thing on the end. I think when I woke up screaming, I think I shouted, "Ah, spider!" This is like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Are there any psychiatrists watching? I've never been to a psychiatrist or a therapist. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't just film it. Maybe I'd say... I'd worry that I'd say things for a laugh that I couldn't take back. Like I'd say something to wind them up, and then they'd call the authorities and go, "You're a proper psychopath. You've got to put him away before he hurts people." Because I can't resist it. I can't resist. If I knew what would worry a psychiatrist, I'd say it for a laugh. Oh dear. Anyway, cheers. Make the most of it. Keep your pecker up. Well, careless talk. What is it? Cost lives. Walls have ears. Look, careful. There's a Nazi. Turn that light out. Dig for victory. Don't be bothered. See you later.
So, what are your thoughts on evolution?
Wow. The Darwin thing?
Yeah.
I don't really go for it.
No?
Yeah. Ice Age, dinosaurs, what did they turn into? I mean, things became extinct at some point. I don't think I was some kind of legless thing that crawled out of the ocean. I don't think I came from that. I think I was created.
Some penguins are prostitutes. That's a hell of a diss, isn't it? Some penguins are prostitutes, right? Offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I think that's true. Well, see, it depends what you mean here, right? Because when animals mate, okay, this is so general, and there are 5 million different species, but bear with me. A female of the species is attracted to a male because she thinks that he's right for her kids. Like, he's big and powerful, my kids will be big and powerful. He's the fastest runner, my kids will be good, that'll help them survive. He's powerful, he's good at providing. If it's a species that stays around, good, he's good. Then there's attraction, which can be arbitrary, but it's signals. So this one got the biggest feathers, and it got the, okay, that's what we want. You know, it sounds arbitrary. And some birds woo their mate by giving them stuff, collecting things, right? And the biggest pile of rocks, she goes, well, he's got the most rocks. Now that sounds arbitrary, but even if it is, he was the best at that. So he flew the most, he got the most rocks, he's the best dad, in theory. So I suppose, as a signal, they'll do anything. Pebbles! I love that. Some penguins are prostitutes, offering sex in exchange for pebbles. I love that. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Maybe there's a war on. Maybe, like, this penguin had to survive. Like, the prostitute. That's so harsh. Oh dear. Good. Any evolutionists listening? Have I sort of got it right? Also, you can learn value of stuff. Like, they did an experiment with monkeys where they would win tokens to do a trick, and then that would give them bananas. And so they created a community where they would exchange tokens for favours, sexual favours, to the female monkeys, because the female monkey didn't think that this was like, okay, you do that, give me the token because I want a banana. So it's like a barter system that there's no thought involved. It's not like the monkey's going, well, that would technically make me a sex worker. There's no... Oh dear, I love it. I love it. I call it the oldest profession, don't they?
Also, like, super.
I'm offensive. Is that a crime? Being offensive is a crime. Being offensive is a crime now. What is this? Did you say it is? Are you joking me?
I have a video.
Is that a joke? Being offensive is a crime. I just heard you say that. What's your badge number? What is your badge number? What is your badge number? Tell me what your badge number is. What is your badge number? Thank you.
You came into the election promising to smash the gangs. We've heard this kind of language before, smash the gangs, stop the vote, and it's always more difficult than the rhetoric. I mean, how many gangs have you smashed?
Well, I don't think any public policy is easier than the press release. Of course it's not. We've made 4,000 interventions against organised crime since we took office. Every time that makes it that little bit harder. But, the more... 4,000 interventions against people smugglers. That could be arrests, that can be disrupting a sale of a boat, 4,000 interventions against organised crime type activity.
It's quite hard to know. I'm asking how many gangs were smashed. That's what you promised in the election, isn't it?
Well, this is a process that we'll deliver over this parliamentary term. I know your viewers, as you do, as I do, want to see those channel crossings reduced. The way to do that is, as I say, by making our countries more attractive than the rest of Europe to come to. We're making changes to bring us into line. We also know that people think that they can't be removed when they do get here. That's why we're removing more people. And people also think that they're going to be able to transit parts from around the world to then assemble and use in the Channel. Well, this today is to disrupt that. So it's all of those things together.
This isn't the news. Okay, let me tell you now, this isn't the news. Anything you hear on this, I'm honest, but it might not be factual. I'm honestly stupid.
We manage our differences, we take our opportunities, and we constantly think, how does this deliver for people back at home?
Keir Starmer's critics like to call him Never Hear Keir. I can tell you it's not a nickname he much likes, but he is off again on his international travels, and today he has arrived here in China. And I don't need to tell you, when there's a bit of a leadership crisis, party and mutiny back home, being 5,000 miles away is probably not ideal. It's been a really difficult January for Keir Starmer.
But I think we've got an administration in America who understand China is public enemy number one. In Britain, Keir Starmer seems to be oblivious to that. Right. Although we now hear this morning that he's been selling out British soldiers, he's sold out British Islands. As I say, he is king of capitulation.
He is. So, I mean, we'll get to that story in a moment on the front page of the Telegraph, which I think is shocking, that he actually worked for free to prosecute British soldiers from Iraq to try and make them be found guilty of war crimes. But do you fear then that his trip to China on this mission is going to put Britain in an even worse place than it is today?
Yes. Yes. I mean, he's not going to get anything out of it. The Chinese are famous for signing deals that they don't deliver on.
Right.
Look at all the commitments they make at these climate change conferences, and then the next week they've built 10 more coal-fired power stations. Right. You cannot trust a word they say or anything that's written on paper. And he is just having the wool pulled over his eyes.
Right.
And I think he kind of knows that. I think he's just desperate.
Yeah.
He's the most unpopular Prime Minister in British history. Things are not getting any better. He is clutching at straws for something that will somehow magically save the British economy, even though he's busy killing the British economy through things like net zero.
Right, let's get to the point. Right, so I wasn't going to do this. Then I thought, it's been another miserable day, raining, and I thought everyone's a bit fed up at the moment. Well, maybe they're not. But you sort of get the feeling it's dragging on a bit, isn't it? There's people arguing, not just about this, but politics. That's always going on. But the world's sort of divided, isn't it? It's really is two tribes. There's no nuance anymore. It's you've got to have a team as opposed to deal with every subject individually. People overlook errors and terrible things on their own team and go after errors on the other team, not realising it's hypocritical. Everyone's a little bit fed up and divided and angry. So I thought I'd sort that out because I'm an actor, and what the world needs is actors' opinions about politics and philosophy. Imagine there's no heaven. Fuck's sake.
And future.
Gutted, because he's now the Prime Minister and he's getting troops done. He's literally going for troops that are doing the job.
Look at these two. These men now run our country. What kind of a man works for free on a case that led to investigations of British military heroes? How have they ended up in charge of our great country? The mask has slipped for Sir Keir Starmer over this. He used to want to abolish the royal family.
I often used to propose the abolition of the monarchy.
The brass neck of this snivelling little human rights lawyer to say this just the other day.
I consider President Trump's remarks to be insulting and frankly appalling. And I'm not surprised they've caused such hurt to the loved ones of those who were killed or injured.
Look, of course he was right to say that about Trump, don't get me wrong. But now it turns out that he worked on a case that opened the door for more criminal inquiries into our brave veterans.
A far-right party winning a state election in Germany for the first time since the Nazis, raising questions about Germany's political future.
Anyway, how are you? So, got loads of questions again. Some of them mental. Some of them from cats and dogs. Not going to get through them all, but I've just got the first ones. Tired, straight away. I'll tell you why, right? It's not just the hot bath and the stingy eyes and that I'm old, right? It's the fact that I've got a frozen shoulder coming. Now, if you remember, about 10 years ago, this one was frozen, right? For about 18 months. You have like 6 months of agony. If you touch it, it feels like your arm's coming out of its socket and you've been electrocuted and you fall on the floor and cry in agony. I used to wake up screaming where I'd rolled on it, right? And this one's getting it now, 10 years later. You can only have one in each shoulder, apparently. I don't know why. So this one's safe. And when this is over, that's it. I can sort of lift it to there. And it's got to the phase now where I'm not sleeping. It's been about a week where there's nowhere you can lay because your weight of your own shoulder, you can't lay on it. You can't even lay on the other side because the weight of the shoulder squeezes all the badness. I'm not a doctor. I've had some acupuncture, which is sort of temporary. That's as far as I can go. I couldn't be a Nazi, could I? Can't get above there. So anyway, that's why I'm tired. I've been having to schedule things around definitely having a nap at lunchtime because I know I wouldn't have slept well.
Tonight, a political taboo has been shattered. A far-right party winning a state election in Germany for the first time since the Nazis, raising questions about Germany's political future and setting off alarm bells about the far-right's rise across Europe and beyond. The Alternative for Germany Party, or AfD, taking first place in the East German state of Thuringia and second in neighboring Saxony. The AfD, formally accused by German intelligence of being an extremist group in both states. Front pages in Germany calling it a political earthquake and a slap by Germany's East. It's horrible. I find it unbelievable, this Berlin resident says. The AfD playing on fears about migration, especially by Muslim immigrants, and rallying opposition to foreign aid to Ukraine and to high costs of living.
Parts of East Germany feel that they've been left behind. They feel like they are not necessarily getting their part of the pie.
The AfD leader in Thuringia telling supporters at his victory party, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. One of the biggest losers, Chancellor Olaf Scholz, whose deeply unpopular center-left party hemorrhaged votes. Some of his coalition partners didn't even meet the 5% threshold to serve in parliament. Scholz calling the results worrying, telling Reuters the AfD is ruining Germany's reputation. But the elections won't immediately change the way Germany is governed, in part because Germany's mainstream parties are vowing to block the AfD from forming a governing coalition. Tonight, AfD's leaders calling that threat undemocratic, saying Chancellor Scholz should take the hint and pack his bags. The election also bringing shocking success for the far left, including a brand new party, the BSW, that came in third in both states. Its leader, a former communist, echoing the far right in rejecting Germany's old guard of centrists, saying the message has arrived, people want change. It's a populist message voters have been sending more and more forcefully across Europe and even in the US. In the UK, the far-right Reform UK gaining ground, its leader Nigel Farage elected to parliament for the first time in July. And in France, the right-wing National Rally gaining dozens of seats, more than ever before, and leaving French government gridlocked for months.
Should we expect more voters across Europe to take a gamble in the future on the far right?
I think you're already seeing it. And by the way, our election is coming up in November, and it's a very similar situation here, I believe.
The big question now is what all of this means for Germany's national elections set to take place next year, and whether the rest of the country will follow this sharp shift to the right. Olaf Scholz has said he plans to run again for chancellor next year, but this election dealt such a blow to Germany's centrists that there are questions now about whether his governing coalition can even hang on until next year.
So yeah, that's my problem. I know there's bigger problems in the world, but we've all got our own. That's why when some fucking idiot on Twitter goes, "Oh, Ricky, why aren't you speaking out against the atrocities in the world?" I want to go, because I've got a fucking frozen shoulder. All right? I don't. I ignore them. Right. Questions. And I don't want to take painkillers, because the ones that work, I think they're addictive, and you end up, you know, going mental. So I'm just gonna wait a year for it to get better. And Jane has to help me on now with a cardigan or a jacket. That's no good, is it? Fuck's sake. Like an old dog, I am. I am like a dog, actually. I'm like a wizard turned a dog into a human. I sit on the floor all day, because I can't sit on the couch and I've got my trainers on, and I can't be able to take my trainers off. Right? I go for a long walk. The other night, Jane was doing something. I had a rattle. I went, "What are you eating?" She went, "I'm doing the recycling." I was thinking, walk, snacks. I love a wee. You know that. I had about 5 wees last night, because I wake myself up in agony and I think, oh, I might as well have a wee, because I don't want to be... Is this entertaining? Fucking hell. Oh, that's the good thing about thoughts in your head. No one else can see them. So even if you think, oh my God, I seem mental, you probably don't, unless you are mental, and then you do. If you are mental, you seem it. See, mental people think, oh, no one knows I'm mental, and we're going, yeah. Whereas I'm presumably not mental, because I'm thinking, oh, do I sound mental? Again, this is not medical advice. I can't stress that enough. Oh God. Good. Thank you. Thanks for following. Be nice to animals. Retweet some stuff. I'm tired. My frozen shoulder. That's as far as I can get it. Oh. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye. You seem to handle your fame very well. It hasn't gone to your head, no. I was already annoying. You still care about others as much as you ever did, yeah. Who do you think handles their fame well? Who else? I don't know. Some people love it. I'm sort of better with it. I'm over it now. And also people, you know. And I never had it. I never really had it bad. When I first popped up, you know, there's a bit of a frenzy. Who is he? Where's he from? And, you know, after a big thing like the Golden Globes, you know, they come out of the woodwork again and ask questions. But most people know I'm not a pop star or a racing driver. Or, you know what I mean? I'm not glamorous for the papers. So, and I don't go to places where I'm going to be bothered. I do my thing, I do my work, and then I come home. So I'm sort of fine with it. I don't fear it as much. I'm more independent. Like in the early days, I hated doing all the interviews and papers, but I had to for them to watch my show. Now I don't need to do that. I just do things I like. I've got more viewers than newspapers, you know. So, but I'm pretty cool with it, and you know, and I haven't had a bad time like some people. Some people are slagged off all the time. You know, some people caught it, of course. I never did that thing where I said, make me famous, then you can go through my bins. So it's not been bad for me. Who else handles it? Well, I mean, there's people that seem to love it, love the atmosphere, love the game, the good and bad. Like Piers Morgan, he's good at it because I think he evolved doing that sort of thing. You know, he's a sort of a contrarian, I guess. And you know, you've got to know that some things he means and some things he doesn't. Some things he's trolling, like being furious about a vegan sausage roll, and then other things he means, like, you know, stuff. So, but I think he'd admit he's got to be a bit clickbaity. It's his living, and I think he handles it well. I think that he knows that, you know, he's got to live and die by the. If he slags people off, they're going to slag him off. So he's got to be ready, and all you do there is just not be a hypocrite. I think, you know, be fair. So I think he handles it well. Maybe he seems to. Maybe he goes home and the wall and says, "I said what? I don't know." You'd have to ask him. And they did bleep it, and I knew they would, so I pointed when I said it. So I won. Good advice there, isn't it? From the Eagles. Take it easy. Sometimes I want to say that, just I swear. Someone sort of out there was really angry about something. I'll go, take it easy. Don't worry about it. How are you? I've got my first sort of official job tomorrow in public. It's all right. It's a voiceover for a film, so I'm by myself in a booth. Don't think it's much safer than that. It's Blazing Samurai, a cartoon version of sort of Blazing Saddles, but with cats. Here's to cats. Cheers. Oh, here's to Brewdog. Last week, I sort of accidentally invented a new form of I sort of fused sort of advertising with charity, whereby I tell the truth about a product for no money, and they, if they want, give some money to charity, and they did. Brewdog, they said thanks for the shout out, and they gave cash to a few little dog charities here and there, and it's not the end of it. I won't say anything at the moment, but they're great. They're really good. I also found out they already give a lot to charity. They're just a great company by the look of it. But there might be more to come. So I'll think of another product to do that with. And again, right, when I was doing it, you remember last week I said, oh, I've heard about these things, you know, like the Kardashians get thousands of pounds for doing things. And I've been offered those. Now I thought I want it to be real. What the papers picked up from that was Ricky Gervais slams the Kardashians. Like a lovely, positive thing. Or I didn't slam them at all. I said they're welcome to it. I just don't. I feel that when I say I'm telling the truth about someone, I want to do that. I do things for money. There's nothing wrong with doing things for money. I even said I'd do an advert because everyone knows that. But what I don't do is pretend to tweet some up for money without telling you the truth. That's all I said. I wasn't slamming anyone. I think it worked. I think it's a great idea that I'd say things that I like, and if the company like that, then they could give a bit to charity. It's like I don't know. It's capitalism without pure greed, I guess. But you know, I'm not saying anyone. Anyway, cheers to Brewdog. Give some more money. Give some more money to some dogs. All right, this is his question. My trouble is, I actually think it's a dog. I mean, he is a dog. He exists, but I think that this is him. Rupert, right? Rupert the dog. Where the dog? He's a fat Jack Russell. We've been through this. Right, this is his question. You've had a freak hang gliding accident, so specific, right, and lost both your arms. What a waste of time this is.
I suppose that's the point, isn't it? It really is the best, honestly. Remember, I'm not getting paid for this. What's this? Alex, you often advise aspiring artists to write about what they know. Was this also your philosophy while writing music in your early years? And if not, do you think it would have benefited your musical career to do this? Yes, exactly, it would. I sort of wrote about what I knew, but when you're 18, 19, you want to be clever, don't you? So it was sort of pretentious, and I thought I was putting fucking Keats to disco. I think the big mistake that I wanted to be a pop star, I should have wanted to be a musician. And so I took that lesson, that failure, with me when I decided to do this, and I wanted to be a writer-director, not a film star, or do you know what I mean? So I think that's the lesson. But yeah, write about what you know. That doesn't mean a subject you're brilliant at. It means write about something you mean, almost. And that doesn't mean it has to be your true thoughts and feelings. It means you've got to mean it. You've got to want to do it. You got to get something off your chest. Get something off your chest. I think that's it, particularly in comedy. If you're walking around thinking something, it's probably good. It's probably unless you're mental, and you might be a genius. You might be mental and a genius. Try it. See what happens. Irish Hugh says, who gave you the go-ahead for the speech at the Globes? NBC, their lawyers. I always, I've heard that other presenters have like 20 writers for weeks. I turn up with a scrap of paper, and I go, I want to do this. I've done that every time. They've looked at it every time with lawyers, and they've said, yeah, that's fine. Because I've usually done the research. I usually make sure something I say is either, it would pass for satire, or it's true, or it's obviously not true. It's stupid, or it's my opinion. And I go after people's public behaviours, things that have actually happened. Things they worry about more. I don't lie about anyone or break the law, and things they worry about more is language. I think that would be the thing, which is fine. I even tell them a couple of times where I've wanted to swear when I'm going to do it, and they've got a little delay and they bleep it. Some I don't tell them, but keeps them on their toes. I told you that the thing when I did the thing about the joke about cats when I started the world got to see James Corden as a fat. He was also in the movie Cats. The reviews. One said, "This is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs." Then I go on, I say, Dame Judi Dench defended the movie, saying it was the role she was born to play because she likes nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg and licking her own meat. And the little meeting before, when there was sort of like 15 people in the room, execs and lawyers, that's the thing they were about, the word minge. I was going, it's fine. It's fine. And then someone looked up and went, oh, it says British term, vulgar term for... Well, of course it's a vulgar term for... What word isn't a euphemism, isn't... I said, what can I say? And the lawyer went, that's worse to say, to make it so real and medical and like I actually mean it. No, minge is funny, it's stupid, it's childish. It shows I'm just being... And they worried about that. And we went through lots of words, right, that I could say. I was going, I'm not saying that. Like worse. Like I said that they were like quim. I'm not going to say quim. Ow. Right? It's just meant to be a little playful, silly joke, right? Anyway, eventually they agreed that I could say mint. The point was that I wanted to say it unbleeped because it doesn't work as well if you have to bleep it. Because people go, what did he say? And they said, yeah, okay, we're fine. We'll run with it. And they did bleep it, and I knew they would, so I pointed when I said it. So I won. After I got home, I told Jane all about it. She went, oh, you should have said clunge. Of course I should have said clunge. Clunge is perfect, isn't it? Great. Fiona says, are you going to do a bit of mass this week? Oh yeah, I said I'd do a bit of Bible reading, didn't I? For a laugh. I should read the bits. If I read the mad bits, I should read the good bits and sort of go, well, I sort of agree with that, because there are good bits and bad bits. And my point is, you know, good Christians know the good bits from the bad bits, don't they? And I sort of say to them, well, if you know the good bits from the bad bits, you don't need the book. You're already good, right? So, one that comes up now and again that I think that is one of my favourite bits from the Bible is that let he amongst you who is without sin cast the first stone. People need reminding of that, particularly on Twitter. Oh my God, people are so judgmental. Oh my God, people say the wrong thing. They can say 50 brilliant things, and then one thing that people go, no, you're out. No, he said, we agreed with 50 of them, but that one, no, you're out. Everyone's different. Everyone's a mix. Take the rough with the smooth. Most people are all right. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? A little bit of Bible. Sean Morgan says, why bother? That's the question. I'm struggling to get an answer. Now, does he mean why bother doing this? Right? Because that's obviously a reply to I'm doing a live broadcast, any questions? Does he mean why bother? Right? Which is a very good question. Or does he mean life in general? Which is a good question. Well, bother, you're here. Make the most of it. You know what I mean? People take the why are we here as the why should we stick around? Well, that's not the same, is it? Why are we here? We are. We're 1/1,000,000th in a long line of creatures that survived. We're here. We haven't got long. Make the most of it. Do things you like. I've never understood that. But what's the point? If you're going to eventually die and there's no afterlife, why live? Well, because it's 4 trillion to 1 chance that you are around. Make the most of it. And then go back to not existing. It's not the other choice. Yeah. I talked about this in Afterlife when Kath says, well, if there's no point, why don't you just kill yourself? You just stop now. Which is ludicrous. That's like saying, the metaphor I used was it's like watching a film that you really love and going, oh, it's going to end soon. Might as well finish it now. No point. This is all we've got. Enjoy it. It's amazing. And then you go back to not existing. Enjoy it. Chris Pilgrim says, do you regret anything you've done? Well, the quick answer is no, because it sort of doesn't make sense to. I can understand, I haven't done anything that bad. I haven't killed anyone, right? Which I'm sure if you kill someone, you probably regret it. But little things like failures or, you know, that I always think that, do you mean if I could erase something and everything be the same? Well, maybe I'd go back and go, oh, you know, wish I'd have flossed more, my teeth. But all those things that you did that you think, oh, I could have done that better, you did. Making mistakes is learning. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that I wish I'd go back and just do everything perfect first time. Well, life's not like that. All the bad things that happened that were, oh, why did I do that, right? They led to something good, and it wouldn't have been the same. If you like what you've got now, well, everything you did led up to that point. And anything you change, you'd be at a different point. So it doesn't really make sense. All you got to do is just keep trying and keep getting better. As I said before, if you're always trying, you can't fail. Because if someone says you failed, you go, I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished yet. Life is learning. Mistakes are valuable. Ricky Rampage says, Angels with Dirty Faces is a top film suggestion of yours. Thanks for recommending it. Are there any other films series you can name which have positively encouraged or influenced any of your writings in the past? Loads. That was, I think, a website, IMDb or Oscars or something, tweeted what's the best ending, without spoilers, the best ending to a movie. And I said, Angels with Dirty Faces. In fact, I used a bit of the ending in The Office and sort of disguised it a little bit. I can't tell you about it because it'll ruin what I did and what the ending is. But anyway, it's an amazing film. It's an amazing film. It's about morality and luck and the hand you're dealt and what you do with it. It's an incredible film. Others, yeah, loads of films. The Apartment had an effect on my work and writing. The ending of that, where it doesn't end in a kiss and a wedding and they lived happily ever after, when she just says, shut up and deal. I've always tried to do something like that. Like in Ghost Town, when she said, it hurts when I smile, or Invention of Lying, I want fat little snub-nosed kids, I'm your man, or whatever. You know, I've always tried to do it like a bit of hope as opposed to, and they all lived happily ever after. So that was a big influence. But so many. I've talked about a couple of albums as well in lockdown that have become the albums of lockdown. And they weren't released during lockdown, but I sort of either rediscovered them or played them more than any other thing. There's two albums. This, Sufjan Stevens, Carrie and Lowell. Every track is great, interesting, beautiful. It's just a perfect album. And I used one of the tracks on Afterlife 2, The Only Thing, the end of Afterlife 2. And this one, Buckingham Nicks. So, I mean, don't even bother trying to get hold of that. It's nearly impossible. Jane got this on an import from Europe. It's really expensive, and I just, there's not many of them, but you can listen to it on YouTube. Or try, but be warned, it's rare. But yeah, well, look, I could recommend these. I'm always eating these. And they're vegan protein crisps, and I do it instead of snacking. This is why I'm so ripped. This is why I look fantastic. No, they're really good. So you get like a nice big hit of protein, like 8 grams for 150 calories. You compare that to normal, and they're as tasty as normal. They are, look. So I haven't been paid to do this. They don't even know I'm going to make some. They don't even know I buy them, this company. I don't even know what the company's called. But if anyone from this company is listening, give some money to a dog charity. Is it called UFit? Is that the company? UFit Crunchers, popped protein chips. Oh, they might be American. That doesn't matter, does it? What I meant is I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. Look, if you own this company, this is a free advert, right? Give some money to charity or not. Either way, they're brilliant. Thanks, everyone. So, cheers, everyone. Tatty bye. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye.
First of all, I had so much fun. It's a blessing to be able to know him. And Michael's like a king. He was like a modern day king. And we did a lot of fun stuff. I used to just, I couldn't wait to hang out with him when he had a chance, when we had the chance to. But we would do stuff like go to the movies. And Michael was so famous, he had to disguise himself. And we would come downstairs. I'd be like, where's Michael? And Michael would be covered up like, I'm over here, Chris. I'm here. I said, Michael, that's you? Yeah, Chris. I thought we was going to the movies. You're not even dressed. I am dressed, Chris. I just can't go in the movies. We got to disguise it a little bit. I said, okay. So we go in the movies, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to be secret, too. I'm hiding myself. Then Michael laughing louder than anybody. Everybody know Michael's laughing.
Right.
He's like, hee. I was like, Michael, shut up. They're going to find you in here. It's going to be a riot.
Have you ever worn disguise in public so you were not recognised? I've thought about it. In fact, I quite like the idea of it. Right, having to wear a mask and sunglasses. I always wear sunglasses anyway, and a baseball cap. Right. I thought the mask would be amazing. I'll be anonymous. I walk down the street, and people are going, "Hi, Ricky." So I don't know. Is my nose a giveaway? Is that big? Is that big blobby? Calmer. I know the mask would have been there, wouldn't it? I had sunglasses on. They must know. Oh. There's a bloke here walking like a chimp. As Ricky. How is it? He's got chimp ability. I'm trying to get chimp ability. To walk with to be cheeky, and laugh like a chimp, out and walk, have short legs. He's got chimp ability. Oh dear.
We did one time. We went to a mall. We was out. Michael wanted to go to the record store or something, and he forgot he was famous. He was like, "I gotta go to the mall. Go to the mall." And we finally said, "Michael, you can't go in the mall, man. You forgot who you are." He said, "Well, let's go." And it was only thing was in the car was a Spider-Man mask. So Michael said, "I'll put this on. We'll go in and we get." I said, "Michael, you can't do that. Spider-Man ain't gonna just be walking through the mall. Ain't nobody. They gonna know it's you, Michael." He's like, "No, he won't. Chris, it'll work. It'll work." We go in the mall, and he was getting away with it until people figured it out because I was with him, and he was like, "Chris, is that Michael Jackson? That Spider-Man mask?" No, that's Spider-Man. That's Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, the mall went crazy, and they had to scoot us out. You should have seen it. It was
my God.
It was great. We had a lot of fun, though. He was great.
The only time I've thought about being in disguise, I think, is probably at something like a concert where it's a lot of public and there's drinking and you've got to be in the... See, I don't worry about it at the theatre because you can get a box or away from... In a restaurant, people don't bother you. Walking around, people don't bother you. But at an Iggy Pop concert, when you're in the crowd, that's when I wish big beard. Or just someone else. Just Michael Jackson mask. People going, short fat Michael Jackson at this concert. But I've never done it, no. I also think if that people recognise you as a guy, they go, how fucking mental is that? That's Ricky Gervais in a disguise. What? Why is he undercover? Why is he? But yeah, sometimes you walk into a shop to buy pants and you wish, I wish I'd have to have a conversation about pants. But it's no big deal.